Okay, so session start formally. We're now on record. Okay. So this evening it's 8:20. I'm talking to you about stress pattern. Yes. This is just going to help you at least. It matters too because if you begin to wonder, if someone had an A in English, does it mean they had 100 over 100? That's not true. Does it mean they had 90? That might not be true. Does it mean they had 80? That might not be true. Maybe they just had 70. And I was wondering if the difference between, so 70 will be pronounced as A, while 69 is pronounced as B. And that's why you have the B1, B2, B3. All right, which means it's worth fighting for a point. As far as this exam is concerned, is worth fighting for a mark because it could make a big difference. All right, so that's why we're teaching stress pattern. Who knows? Maybe this 1 point can help. Now, stress pattern, you're familiar with this question type. Here is an attempt to stress the word democratic. Democratic is the adjective or the adjectival form of democracy, which we're very much familiar with. The first option says, you know what? Why not stress the DE? The second one says stress the MO. The third one says stress the CRA. And the fourth one says stress the TIC. Good business, good job. Only one of them is correct. So we're going to find out in this section how to be able to arrive at the right option. Honestly, I'm going to help you with that. But then let's start with some elementary knowledge. I didn't know this is going to be not too clear. Yeah, I could see. So I apologize. I apologize for the quality of that presentation or the quality of this slide. Yeah, it's not. I didn't envisage it. Okay. All right. So what is stress? Stress means emphasis, pitchness, loudness. Well, we've mentioned three words, but I think the one you would appreciate could be loudness. Yes, stress means when something is given emphasis or something is given more emphasis, so to speak. Now, this is a general rule in English. For every bisyllabic word, this is a general rule in English. For every bisyllabic word, there is always a syllable to be stressed. What is bisyllabic? Bi means two, and that's why you have bicycle, which refers to two. You have the tricycle, tri, which means three. So bi means two. And what's a syllable? A syllable is a unit of sound, a unit of pronunciation. Louder, loud is a syllable. Da is another syllable. Loud is a syllable. Da is another syllable. So louder, two syllables. And that's where stress begins with. All right. Of monosyllabic words are stressed. Car, bag, art, pen, rest. You don't have a problem with all of those ones because there's just only one syllable there. But the moment you begin to talk about two syllables, then you need to understand that something will happen. And what could happen is the fact that the two syllables should not be treated equally. Take, for example, in the first example, I gave emphasis to the loud and I tried to be pictorial, okay? And the da was lower. In the second one, louder, I gave emphasis to the da and the loud was inferiorized. We have the same thing for above. In above, the a was giving some form of superiority. In the second example, the above was given that superiority. Just one of them is correct. And look at it. So louder, actually, it is the loud that gets the emphasis, not the da. Which means if you say louder, you're not doing the writing. So the writing is louder, louder, louder. You see, I'm pronouncing loud and I'm also pronouncing da, except that my loud, so to speak now, is bigger than the da. Louder, louder, louder. Okay. Then the same thing happens to above, above, above. It looks like I'm not even pronouncing the a. Above, above, above. So the A is there, but it is not the big one. So it looks like when you have a two-syllabic word one of them is going to, maybe you can call one of them the Odogu, one of them is going to be the big boy. Okay. But in the case of louder, Lao is the Odogu, and in case of above is that above. That is English for you. That is the language generally speaking. All right. So if you then pronounce it as louder, all right, it's just because it's two things now. Either you don't want to be professional, or you're not aware of that. Because sometimes I also pronounce as louder. Maybe I didn't just want to sound professional. Okay, so it's either you don't want to sound professional, or there is ignorance about it. Now that we know. So when you come to, so if you look at our first presentation, I wrote the word democratic here. So everything begins with even two syllables. So then it goes on to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, etc. So this one is saying 4, democratic. So one of them should go up. Which one of them is the Odogu? Is it the de, the mo, kra, or tick? So that is the way to see stress pattern. So stress simply means there is always, so to speak now, one Odogu among the syllables. There's always that big boy among the syllables. So it is the big boy you are asked to find. So find the option that has that correctly identifies the Odogu, the one that correctly identifies it. Okay, so A, that may allow you now, before we even teach you. Okay, about me, can you record which of these options identifies the Odogu correctly now? Is the DE the big boy there, or the MO, or the CRA, or the TIC? You don't have to think too much, all right? I'm going to teach you how to, I just want to, let's just say something. Okay, you don't have to bother yourself. Just, if you want to get it, okay, we'll teach it. All right, go ahead. And the golden, go ahead, just make your choices very fast. So we'll
go. C.
Oh, thank you. About me, can we hear you? Okay, thank you. Thank you. And thank you. All right. So, and that's actually correct. C. And that means about me, and Golden must have learned about something, which should make my job easier now. All right. So the next thing we should do is there any form of assistance around this syllabification? Of course. So these are polysyllabic words, and this, I suppose, is the focus of your exam. In your examination, you get to see the polysyllabic words. Congratulations. Which one is the dogu there? Penultimate. Okay, so in congratulations is the lay, in the penultimate is the no. Now my job is, how are we supposed to know this in the exam? You're not supposed to be telling us, because in the exam, no one's going to be telling us. How are we supposed to know? Oh, that's no problem. You see, we're going to share some rules with you. But first, we need to agree that we're going to do some counting. As you can see, I wrote under the Sean, I wrote 1. Lay, I assigned 2 to lay. I assigned 3 to 2. I assigned 4 to gra. And I assigned 5 to corn. What did you notice? I numbered them in the reverse manner, or in the reverse version. Instead of giving 1 to corn, I gave 1 to Sean. All right, so I'm going to be teaching some rules that will get you to do your counting from the back. So the last syllable, that's why I said take note. The last syllable is 1. So if we tell you, oh, if a word ends in this syllable, stress the second syllable. By so doing, we're saying, hope you have not forgotten, we're starting from the last syllable. So the last syllable goes as 1. So in these examples above, in penultimate, mate is the last syllable. So mate is 1. Chance is 1. So in penultimate, mate is 1. In congratulations, chance is 1. All right, so now let's proceed to the rules. I've put together some rules for you because I know they should help. All right. So if a word ends in shon, that's the syllable. We are supposed to stress the second syllable. Of course, we're counting from the back. So when you say motivation, motivation. So we're going to stress the V, VA. So the VA is the odogul in that word. If a word ends in ATE, we're going to stress the third syllable, motivate, and that is it. Motivate and motivation, they are semantic, they are examples of semantic field because they're coming from the same environment. Motivate, motivation. All right. Despite the fact that they're coming from the same roots, they are differently stressed. And that's one thing about the language. So you don't, sometimes the knowledge of one may not really be transferable to the other, except one learns them consistently. So I see, that was what you did now, democratic. I see the second syllable, and you can say crap. So you guys were right. If a word ends in ty, ny, gy, etc, anything y, anything y, you're going to start the third syllable, ceremony. So you start from the back. Ni is one, mo is two, re is three. So it is the re that is the odogul in that word. If a word ends in ble, we stress the third one. If a word ends in ee, we stress the ee. For example, refugee, we stress the gee. If a word ends in ive, we stress the second syllable, initiative. If a word ends in al, second syllable. If a word ends in ive, second syllable. Now, if a word ends in ize or isa, as the case may be, it is going to be the third syllable. Apologize. Now, guess what? Sometimes, we've talked about anything plus y, but please, adverbs are exceptional. For adverbs, intimately is an adverb from intimate. Even though that ends in ly, of course, that is not the same thing as ceremony, which is ny. So if ly is an adverb, now what do? You pretend the ly is not part of the whole thing. Now you focus on the normal rule. So if you take off ly, you're going to have intimate, and that is ate. We've given you the rule about ate. About ate, you have to stress the third syllable. And that this third syllable is in, and that is what you're still going to stress. Okay. Now I'm going to send a copy of this to the group WhatsApp, and I think these rules are going to be helpful. You just have to master them. All right. So I'll put this together just for questions. All right. So let's quickly choose the option with the right stress pattern. 1, 2, 3. Just type out your letters A, B, C, and then vote for number 4. I think I only put 4 questions here. Oh, true. Put in your letters here. Building, oh yeah, type in your answers now. Think about how many has left. Maybe it's network.
And one B.
Everything is what?
Number one B, number two B, number three C.
Okay, one is B. The research two is also B.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then number three is what?
C.
Okay, that's correct. Now let's see number four. About maybe we just pick our answers, but the rules are there. They are mean. We're just putting the rules to work simple. All right, this is number four. Expatiate.
Expati- Expatiate. Expatiate.
ATE. If you can still remember the rule of ATE, that's it. Okay. Maybe we need to move on. ATE is also the third one. All right, the third one, one, two, three. So is that par? A is the answer. Par. Okay. All right. So the rules are all there for us. But then we have some trouble, and I refer to them as the gray areas. For the gray areas, our rules sadly could not cover words with the following syllable. In case you come across them, you just going, I don't know, maybe for us, but there is no consistent rule about them. I know for easing, you might be asked to try the third syllable, but that's not true for everyone. For chore, you might be asked to also try the second syllable, but that's not true for everyone. So I've actually put them together, but okay, there is no consistency about these four syllables. So a word that ends in DA as a syllable, ISM syllable, TURE syllable, OR syllable, there is no consistent rule about them. And that's why I've referred to them as the gray area. Areas where we cannot really do much about unless we've been familiar with the word or we are able to pronounce the word correctly. And that's it. Okay. That's about stress pattern. I just talked to us about stress pattern. Though we still have something coming up on stress pattern. Okay, I don't know if this should come now. But for this one, yeah, you're gonna do something for me. Let's just come up. Okay. Now this one is saying identify the one with the different stress pattern. One thing you will notice is all these words are bisyllabic words. Go and drop that phone and sleep. All these words are bisyllabic words. Reduce to, prolong to, remove to, purpose to, neglect to, direct to, respond to, credit. All right, good. And so that makes sense. That means at this point, let's talk to you about some common rules that might help, some common rules that might help us. I don't know. Just for a minute. bisyllabic words, and simple rules. Now, these rules are not all encompassing, but you will find some of them useful. Now, number one. Number one, don't stress prefix. And what's the implication? It means that if I have this word, let's say, can I have one? I'm trying to think about just one word. Just one prefix. Well, can you help me with that? Let's say, okay, let's try redo. If you look at redo, the word do is a word on its own. So the word re means again. So here, in this word, re is a prefix. Okay, and that means it's going to be stressed on the do. So that means stress do. Number the same thing here. Don't stress suffix. E.g., sadness. So in this case, you realize that ness is a suffix. So you don't stress it, and that means we should stress sad. Now, don't stress ER. For example, teacher. And that means teacher is you're going to stress the T. Then don't stress OR. For example, mentor. And that means it's going to be mentor. Then the next thing, don't stress OUR. For example, favor. So this is going to be favor. Stress teen. Stress teen, e.g., 14. So this is going to be 14. Okay. Stress EE, mentee. So this one is going to be mentee. All right, etc. If I remember more, I'm going to bring them, but this could help. Now, what is the implication? The implication is this is the implication. You're given four options and asked to choose a word with a different stress pattern. Let's say option A, you have the word teacher. You have the word teacher. Option B, you have the word mentor. Option C, you have the word favor. Option D, you have the word 14. Okay, and you're asked to stress the word with a difference. Okay, so choose the option with a different stress pattern. Choose the option with a different stress pattern. Okay, and that is what it is. And that means the answer then becomes 14 because 14, only 14 has the stress on a different cylinder. Okay, so that's it. So this is just an example of what you have here. Now, you have reduced. Understand that this RE is not a prefix. Prolong. Now, remove. The RE here is a prefix. So move is going to be the odogu here. Purpose. The pair here is going to be the odogu. Prolong. Long is going to be the odogu. So you have this, this, and this. So the answer to this one is not going to be purpose. Only purpose is the stubborn one, is a different one. So this one is stress on move, stress on long, stress on deals, but this one is stress on pair. How did I know? So I'm just going to ask you to do a study of some of them will not be that easy. Direct, respond, credit. Okay, and that is why you can go and I caught all of this from your past question paper. Sit on your past question paper, open your dictionary so that you can master some of these words. They actually repeat, they recycle these words, they recycle them. Now, like this number 2, credit. Cre is the odogu here. Respond, pond is the odogu here. All right. Neglect. All right. This is the odogu here, credit. Spond is the, okay. Direct. Direct is the odogu here. Okay. Respond is here. Neglect is there. So the answer is credit. It has the stress on the cre. Every other one is on the DIT. You see, deter. You know, you don't stress TE. So this sailor, you don't stress OR. Tailor, you don't stress OR. You don't stress OR, ORE. So you can see the answer to this one is yoga. Okay. Inmate, you don't stress prefix. Mate is a word. So the stress is on mate. Insane, stress is on sane. Injure, no. Injure, the in this one. Joy is not a word. Okay. Remind. So you don't stress prefix. So stress is on mind, sane, mate, and that means the answer is C, injure. Okay. So just go back and see some of those things. Look at the rules. The rules are all there, and I've just applied some of them. They are really helpful and useful. So you can try work on them. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll allow you to do the remaining 4 yourself. All right, so let's answer 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, I wouldn't mind. You can support yourself with a dictionary. Show me the rules, sir. Okay. Um, okay. Wait, let me even go drop a copy. Just a minute. Let me go drop a copy in case you want to pick it there on the WhatsApp. Okay, about now, I've dropped a copy of this presentation on the group WhatsApp. You have everything, including the classwork. Okay, so you can. I don't know if you're using your phone or your laptop. You can always go back, open it down, and see how the rules can be helpful. About married true? Or is it tough? Hello, Melody, I think you came in a lot late. Hello, about are you sure you're there? Yeah, good in your back. Are you true? Nobody's speaking back. What's happening? Well, are you still working on this or we should move on? So let's get the response to know what's happening. Are you still working on this? I'm not getting any response from anyone. Hello, are we having trouble with our network or what? You can't hear me? Wow.
Network is bad.
Okay, network. Okay. Warm your back. Is the network better now? Okay. I really can't hear you guys anymore. No one is responding to questions. I think I got one person saying the network is bad. Problem. Let's just recap. Melody, are you also having trouble with your network? About me, are you back? Anyway, we're in this section. No one is talking back. What? Um, about me, I said, did you do this work? 5, 6, 7, 8. Melody has been there. She's not talking back. Um, okay. Then we may need to end this section. Yeah, we may not. We may then need to end this section. So you guys can, maybe when you fix a network, please make sure you watch the video. I'm spending the last 55 minutes talking to you on stress pattern, how to stress by syllabic words, how to stress polysyllabic words, the importance of stress, application of stress, pattern, etc. I think you're going to find the video useful. I would just advise you get a video once it is uploaded. It should be uploaded in less than 24 hours. Okay, and that is it. So at this point, I'll be saying goodbye to everyone. I think the network has been bad. You couldn't hear at the point, maybe just the last 5 minutes or so. The last 5 minutes or so has been hectic. We couldn't hear you guys speak back and all of those things. All right. So on that note, class is declared closed. Thank you.